shoot the breeze topic number 4 says, Israel recognizing Somaliland is yet another example of Zionist colonial management in Africa. Israel should be a worry for Black people. This comes with a couple of attachments, all taking us to Instagram. So I'll just go down the line. You should be able to see. Good thing I checked. Now you should be able to see my screen. So I'll play it and then I'll just move down the line.
تظهر أن هناك 3 خطوات مهمة تمت في الصومال. الأولى هو إعادة توطين الفلسطينيين في أرض الصومال. ثانيا توفير قاعدة عسكرية لإسرائيل في خليج عدن، في ساحل خليج عدن. والخطوة الثالثة أن تنضم أرض الصومال إلى اتفاقات أبراهام. هذه هي المطالب الإسرائيلية الثلاثة التي قبلت بها أرض الصومال. هذه كما تفيد معلوماتنا إذن ليس واحدة أو هي الثلاثة، وإذا تم تطبيق هذه الثلاثة ماذا سيحدث مستقبلا؟ سينفتح صندوق الشرور في العالم.
So that video was made last week by the Somali president, right?
Not only for our benefit, but for America's benefit as well.
Okay, one last question, because now you have to go. Somaliland. I had to look it up on the map. You have recognized Somaliland. You are the first nation to do so. Now that I know where it is, I studied a little history for it, but why? What provoked that and the timing?
Well, Somaliland has 6 billion citizens, moderate Muslims. They want to join the Abraham Accords, and I think that's very good. They are Democrats. Have had elections. The rest of Somalia, which is hodgepodge, has had al-Shabaab terrorists there. Never had elections since for decades. Got a lot of terrorists coming there. So why not support democratic, moderate country, Muslim country that wants to join the Abraham Accords? I think everybody should do that.
But I guess we
didn't see it
coming.
First.
I guess we didn't see it coming, and you're the first nation, and I'm going, Somaliland?
Yeah, Somaliland, yeah.
All right, well, I'll have to go visit Somaliland. I take you can help me get a interview with the president.
I'll do my best.
All right, thank you, sir. It's always nice to see you, and nice to see you here in the United States.
Yeah, I was saying? I said it the other day. They were in my videos talking, where did you get this? Well, yeah. I'm like, I got this information from top level. Well, not like I found the information being spoken about by top level staff from Somalia. They're claiming that the deal was Israel gets to send 2 million Palestinians. They get to relocate 2 million Palestinians to Somaliland. That's one. Two, Somaliland gets to give them land so that they can build a military base so that they can attack the Houthis and remove the choke point. And 3, they get to join the Abraham Accords. Somali president came out and said it last week. Netanyahu has now confirmed it. Yeah, I was saying I was bugging. We got some breaking news, y'all. Y'all gonna love this. UAE has also quietly recognized Somaliland without announcing it. They now accept passports and documents from Somaliland in their official visa website. Visitors from Somalia are banned from UAE. There you go. UAE has become the second country to officially recognize Somaliland. They just didn't make any statements. They didn't make any speeches. They just quietly added it to the list of passports that they now accept. Meanwhile, Somalis are not allowed in the UAE. We are watching Africa be carved back up like a cake by these people. After 1,000 of years, however long they've colonized us, I thought we would wake up. I thought we would have some kind of sense. I thought we're watching them they're redoing this all over again. This is the Berlin Conference happening again. Instead of them sitting down in one time table and splitting Africa like their property. This time it's happening slowly. And we are willing, we are accepting, we are welcoming them. We are welcoming our own fucking oppressors. We are welcoming our colonizers. We are printing their flags and are happy that our colonizers are coming to colonize us. This is insane. We got So apparently, Israel recognizes Somaliland as something they've been planning for 80 years. It says Somaliland is Israel's 80-year-old project. The project was called Harar Council. The 34-page document is on my Linktree bio. Let's go ahead and check the document, shall we? We're just going to read the parts that have been squared off. Okay, it says, my proposal is to unite the so-called Harar territory of the Ethiopia part with the British Somaliland and create there a state for the European Jews. This territory is large enough. It would be easy to develop 60,000 to 7,000 square miles for this one purpose. The territory is inhabited by small agricultural population who are not likely to raise great difficulties. Nevertheless, it will be necessary to remember that the lessons learned by the Palestinian experience, namely to prevent the territory being overrun by people from other parts of Ethiopia and to keep out foreign agitators. The climate on the plateau is absolutely healthy and suitable for Europeans. Those parts of the Somali coast which have a bad climate could be improved in a measurable time by irrigation. The Harar territory is particularly suitable for agriculture and hence for mass immigration. It would have ready markets for its agriculture and later in industrial products for the interior of Africa, in the Arabian countries and parts of India. Politically, these territories belong to, already stated, to the Great Britain and the Empire of Ethiopia. In July 1933, British government proposed to the Emperor of Ethiopia that the port of Zayla and certain other parts of the British Somaliland be ceded to him if he were prepared to make certain concessions to Italy. It is therefore not impossible that the British government may today be ready to cede a rather large portion of Somaliland together with the port of Berbera to the European Jewish state we have in mind. So 80 years ago, they had a plan to turn Somaliland into a European state. And they said they needed to learn from the experience. And the small group that were there, the Somali people, the Somalilanders, they were going to learn from the Palestinian experience so that they could not face objection. And they have learned from the Palestinian experience, because now you have Somaliland as the largest printing press, not printing press, factory that prints whatever in Somaliland has now been exclusively printing Israeli flags. They are there welcoming them. These motherfuckers have no fucking idea what they're about to bring upon Africa. Because once the Israelis get land in Africa that they call theirs, it's over for the rest of us.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, that's a lot. That is a lot. I hope the chat and the panelists have digested all that we got there. I will take time even after this broadcast to think about it. But that is a lot. Sister Cheryl, let me start with you. What are your thoughts on Israel recognizing Somaliland?
Yeah, it's pretty much it's I don't know, it's just so sad. I think when most people hear that, and they're from, maybe if they're from that area, and anybody correct me if I'm wrong, but they're from that area and they're hearing Somaliland is being recognized. Any that that I think the way they word that is just intentional. They're just confusing people about where their loyalties lie. Because they don't really. I was just reading a little bit about, um, people in that area that live in Israel, and just how, like, the black people that live in that area and how they're even treated, by Israeli people. It's this similar thing as to how we're treated over here in America. It's nothing different. It's like everything's pretty much the same. Only thing that's different is the religion, but it serves the same purpose. And I think sometimes when you're not political minded and you're so into your religion, all you hear is your land is being recognized. And that's what they probably think that's a good thing. A lot of people probably think that's a good thing. In the same way that Black people who are FBA think it's a good thing that the US mainstream media is recognizing them. I just it's just really sad that people are so bamboozled by religion, and it makes sense, but just looking at some of the things that and the ways that Black people are treated in that land, it's like a lot of I'm not it's like a lot. I was just reading something about Ethiopians like in Israel and how they did not even want to be called Black. And I think our first prompt in this prompt kind of connected that way, because the Ethiopians didn't even want to be called Black. They wanted to be called, it was something else. I can't remember the name. They didn't want to be called Black until they realized how the Israelis were treating them. And then they wanted to be called Black. It's like so many, we do the same things as people. We're confused in the same ways, the same but different all over the world. And it's just, I don't know, man. It's just really sad. And I hope, I mean, I know it's not going to happen, but I hope something happens where someone intervenes for this not to happen, or I don't know. Because the political aspect of it's not going to be there because there's too much of the religion involved.
Did Cheryl cut out?
Hello?
All right. All right. Real Black Gentleman. Israel recognizing Somaliland. How do you feel about it?
It's more unnecessariness. It's more blatant protectorate, kind of like, it's the subterfuge and all of it. It's not necessary, and then you try to figure out, okay, what's the real intent? It's like you see I see East Africa, right? You would think historically it was Ethiopia, right? It was just Ethiopia. It was just Nubia. It was just it had to be just, what I'm saying, it's just all just one place. Now you look at the map. I remember growing up knowing Ethiopia again went to the sea. You know what I'm saying? It was Ethiopia had the whole coast, and we knew about ships in Ethiopia sailing around. I was taught that growing up, and then all of a sudden, 1993, Eritrea, and they have the whole coast, and so Ethiopia is all shrunk up. This is that again is the beginning of all this stuff. Then you have this Djibouti. What's a Djibouti? You know what I'm saying? What is this country? Who is what's up with this? And then you have Somalia, and then Lord knows Somalia wants to break up into 4 or 5 countries. You have Al Shabaab up there. You have all kinds of people, all kinds of things cutting up. Ethiopia trying to get back to the sea because Eritrea they've fallen out amongst themselves. And they've seceded successfully and broken away, and now that they fight each other, it's not fun. This is the downside of nationalism. Naturally, is that you start to everything around you starts to you start to just pick away at each other, and you start to have smaller and smaller countries. All of that could easily just be one country. Imagine, you had the East African community. You had Uganda, Kenya, and Tanzania. You know what I'm saying? It's like you then have Ethiopia, the Greater Sudan, let's say historically, and Somalia, right? I don't even think Djibouti was. I think that was probably a part of Somalia or Ethiopia probably before they broke away. You know what I'm saying? And so like you had these strong it's like, why? What is it besides the religion? Because at this point, with Ethiopia, they in Jewish fetish that they run in, like that shit is embarrassing though. Like it's like of all things, like Ethiopia has a lot to be proud of on its own. It successfully defended itself against Italy in World War II when Italy was on this fascism kick. And you know what I'm saying? They caught that L in Ethiopia. And everyone around, all black people came to Ethiopia's defense. People from America all over came to Ethiopia's defense. They have a lot to be proud of. You know what I'm saying? Then you look and you see the sectarianism, the partisanship, where Ethiopia is just falling apart, and everyone around it is falling apart. I don't like. There's times and places where secession seems to be sensible, but when it seems to be religion, it seems to be like, well, we just want to do. It's like when you have it gets real flaky and frail, and you have like strong men coming again rally people, and it's like grievances, and it's just things. And again, a lot of that could be fostered in from the outside as well. It's like you look at the geopolitics, and it's just like a strong Ethiopia with access to the Nile and the Red Sea. How? Why do you not want to be a part of that nation? You know what I'm saying? It's to me, I see it, and it's just like, man, I don't know. I mean, it's like you don't want these outsider states. You don't want a whole bunch of Djiboutis and Eritreas and Somalilands on the outside of Africa. You don't want that because they'll just use those as ports to go in, have equipment, operations. You know what I'm saying? All kinds. Man, I'll tell you what. At this point, I just worry about the bio shit. You know, they'll just do some shit. Well, they'll just have, you know, black people just like keeled over on some mystery virus type shit. I swear, at this point, it's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Let alone the other type of shit. But it's like, how do you not like geopolitically? When you want power in your land and that stuff, that's cool, and I get it. But don't you want something greater? I don't like it at all. I mean, Somalia, I just wish, you know, was a part of just a larger. I think Ethiopia, Somalia, and Kenya on Miracle Land would be one country. And the Sudan would be one country. Greater Kush resurrected. Oh my God, why? Why can't we just do it? Why do men have to be so brash with each other and just like have everything of their own within their hand and not like find a way to work and gain bounty amongst each other? I swear, it's like really, because you have leaders, and they're leaders for reasons, and they have command and control over forces that bind political boundaries. If you can like get people to work and have this land, and the peoples who in a lot of cases, like just all kinds of cross boundary communities, if we could just like put all those pieces together and just unify and just cohese, just like the AES, it would be great. You know what I'm saying? The AES really can teach a lot of people things. Like on God and Gang, I wish that they would just. I'll be 90 years old and they've still existed. Because I mean, again, it has happened before where confederations fall apart. Senegambia in Mali. Again, the EAC, Greater EAC with Uganda, Kenya, and Tanzania. I mean, these things happen, but they fall apart. I don't like Somaliland. I don't like all this Israelisms. None of it. None of it's good. I'm gonna pass the mic.
Yeah, good stuff, RBG. Black Seal, you've heard everything everyone else had to say, and you see the chat. What say you to all of it?
So this is in response. So Israel is so petty, man. This is in response to so many nations recognizing Palestine, right? So, you know, not too long ago, a lot of different nations across the world recognized Palestine as a state, right? So due to Palestine having political recognition, now all of a sudden, excuse me, Israel wants to recognize Somaliland. right? So the timing of this is no coincidence, number one. Number two, you got to be careful when other countries get involved in these little sectarian wars. So now Somalia, I mean, now you have other countries who are recognizing this nation's right to exist, right? And you would think, oh, they're bringing freedom or whatnot. He's talking about bringing democracy. But like the poster said, allows them to establish a military base. This allows them to start to attack the Houthis in Yemen, right? I'm pretty sure there's some farmland they're going to want control of. So them recognizing Somaliland is not for Somaliland's benefit, but it's only to cause unrest and instability. Just like the entire Berlin Conference about we learned about Africa being carved up by the European powers to best extract resources. This is a strategic move by the state of Israel to put a military power and to attack their enemies in the Red Sea. You know, Houthis are blocking shipping in the Red Sea as a way to force them to comply with the international UN request on genocide, right? So the Houthis doing what they do. Oh, we can get a base in Somaliland. We can attack them from across the Red Sea or whatever. So understand that this is all part of the plan. They're not going there if they love democracy. They're going there because it's strategic for you, for them, and that's very much what the problem is. I don't think there's enough countries in the world who's willing to recognize Somaliland, right? We haven't heard the U.S. recognize them. We haven't heard China or any other major power, any other African power recognize them. Most of them recognize this is a breakaway state of Somalia, but this is a way to further cause unrest within the Horn of Africa, very strategic region. Some of the richest fishing grounds in the world, which is being constantly stolen by nations of the Middle East and Asia. You know, they're constantly fishing off Somali waters, depleting their fishing stock. But again, if you can call Somaliland, now you have, while the infighting is going on, they can walk in and steal your stuff, steal your resources. And that's very much what they're trying to do. I'll stop there. Thank you.
Yeah, good stuff all around, guys. Yeah, it's definitely something we should be worried about. Trigger Happy in the chat says, I read a really good article about Zionism in Haiti that I posted in the server. Israel is important to America because it acts as a proxy gun that gives enough deniability to hide American interests. Absolutely. Absolutely. There's no last thoughts to that prompt, man. I would like to discuss shout outs this week. Before you guys leave the panel tonight or the chat, post your shout outs in the chat. I'll try to read them on air. But in the meantime, let me start with Sister Alma on the panel. What's your shout out this week, my dear? Anything positive that happened to you or what you've seen in the Black world? Look like Alma is not there. Real Black Gentleman, what would you like to shout out this week?
Just nothing in particular. I'll say this. I want to give a shout out to my mom. She passed away this year ago today. I didn't let any of you guys know about it when it happened. I kind of kept it to myself, but I will mention it now.
My condolences. My condolences.
Yeah, I'm thank you. My condolences. I mean, it's to you, Koku. I mean, yeah. Our parents. I'm gonna give a shout out to the parents. They do what they do. The ones that hold it down the best they can in this world that we get brought up in, and we try to figure it out, and we get told stuff from our parents, and sometimes it ain't right. Most of the time it is. You know, they love you, and you know that's what we're here for. We're here to keep pushing and to keep going and to make a new generation. You know what I'm saying? that's what we're here for. I'm gonna give a shout out to Black parents, because they this is what we're here for. We're here going through all of this, and we gotta just keep carrying the torch. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're here. We were brought from nothingness to form, and now we exist, and we convey our energies through this and through this world. And this, you know what I'm saying? We go out here and we try to bring harmony. Those of us, and we try to reject the powers of disorder and isfit. You know what I'm saying? You gotta break down that isfit, and we gotta, that isfit in us, we have to harness it, so that, you know what I'm saying, we gotta use chaos against chaos. You gotta do it, but you can't use it to break yourself down. That's the moral. I guess that's what I will learn from my mom. And you gotta make the best out of what you have. She cooked chitlins. I never really liked chitlins, but I ate them once or twice, so I know about that, from that worst and making something out of it. Throw a little hot sauce on it. I'm gonna pass the mic.
Shout out to your mom for sure. Condolences, and Trigger Happy in the chat says condolences as well. Trigger also wants to shout out Speed. I Show Speed. He said, I was anticipating this tour, and it's pretty nice. He has a sort of minstrel past, but I like some of the tour he is doing. He went to Egypt, and the vibes were off. He showed some Black North Africans too in Algeria. Very nice, very nice. Shout out to Speed. With that said, Black Steel, what would you like to shout out this week?
I want to shout out Haiti, man. It was January 1st it was Haiti's anniversary of their overthrow from France. They've been going through some tough times. Like, I don't really hear enough about Haiti. They were the first. They were the vanguard, in the struggle for Black liberation and freedom. And so, shout out to them. I know they've been going through some tough times, but that's all.
Appreciate that, Black. So you're actually right. We didn't talk enough about that at the start of the year. But shout out to all of you, man. All of you guys who came through, represented again this week. Shout out to the panel. It seemed a little iffy if we would get a good number of panelists tonight, but we did. So I want to shout out you guys. We ought to be back next week. Shout out to Buana, who's still, coming off of his passing and burial of his mother. Shout out to Jacadero. I expect Jacadero to be back soon, sometime soon. So shout out to him as well, man. I'll see you guys next week. In the meantime, you guys be good. Join the Discord if you haven't. Peace.
Thanks for listening to the Bitter Medicine Podcast with your host, Koku. If you like what you just heard, we hope you pass along our web address, bittermedicineblogs.com, to your friends and colleagues, and share our show to all your social media. Be sure to check out our archive section on our website for previous podcasts. This has been a KWAZ radio production. Join us next time for another session of the Bitter Medicine Podcast. Follow us on Facebook at Bitter Medicine Show, Twitter, Bitter Meds, Tumblr, Bitter Meds, Instagram, Bitter Medicine.